Good morning. My name is Adriana Garcia Perez, and I am the future. Here we have a comic by Diane Cheney. This is a common depiction of the common 21st century student. Pinned down by stress of the familial, economic, social, and academic types, they are trapped in their own thoughts. Their homework deadlines, peer pressure, daily problems, and even jobs don't allow them to carry on in their own lives. In a survey by the University of California, it was found that over time, in the last 30 years, the emotional health of students, both men and women, has steadily decreased. This also goes with the correlation of that the amount of students who have felt overwhelmed has increased. This can be attributed to the fact that the students that are overwhelmed in their senior year of high school have the stress of applying to colleges and trying to find out how to make the transition into a new environment, not having the coping strategies that their upperclassmen have in order to deal with these new situations. The Center for Collegiate Mental Health found that in the 2010-2011 school year, 45.2% of the college population attended counseling for mental health concerns. In 2011-2012, this went up to 47.6% and 48.7% in the 2012-2013 school year, a more than 3% increase from just 2 years prior. This is showing that the mental health really is decreasing in all of these students. We also saw a 33% amount of the population in the 2012-2013 school year who had taken medication for mental health concerns, along with a whopping 30% in this same year who seriously considered attempting suicide. It is no surprise that students have to attend counseling. It is no surprise that they do not understand these mental illnesses, because as stated by the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 50% of students received no education on mental illnesses prior to attending college. Not having this knowledge of their own bodies, not having the ability to recognize these symptoms, etc., prohibits them from understanding that they need help and from reaching out to this help. The American College Health Association presented this research in that the fall of 2011, 50.4% of students felt overwhelming anxiety, while 30.9% felt so depressed that it was difficult to function. This relates back to the fact that these mental illnesses prohibit the students from carrying out their normal daily activities. And that stress being a common thing not only affects the students in their way of they're being stressed, it can lead to other mental illnesses like anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD, and even the consideration for suicide. With this, I propose a solution. The implementation of effective health resources in universities is vital to the health of these students. Having resources available and making sure that the students know these resources are available is very important. Having the resources there will allow the students to be able to reach out for help and help themselves if need be. Along with this, profound education on these mental illnesses is incredibly important. Being educated on something, as in the saying, knowledge is power, having this knowledge of the symptoms of what comes with a mental illness can allow us to turn the 50% of students that have no idea how to take care of themselves into 100% of students who understand. Finally, the opportunity for counseling is the most important part of this process. Counseling in this way, hiring counselors who understand, are willing to help through situations, and will help the students in any way possible is very important, as this issue can no longer be ignored. Being a mental instead of physical illness does not make it any less valid. They are ailments just the same and require these solutions. What questions might you have? Thank you.
All right, 2 questions I have for you.
Okay.
How valid and reliable were the sources that you used?
Well, the sources I used were incredibly reliable, in my opinion anyway, because they were from the University of California, which recorded the sentiments of their own students. And who would know more about mental health for college students than the Association for College Mental Health. They proposed very accurate information, and they all related to each other, and that made me believe that they were reliable in the sense that they all found the same information.
All right. And what advice would you have for other people that are taking on a topic such as big as this?
Well, when tackling this topic, it is best to go in with an open mind. I, for one, have a personal bias towards this topic, but you have to take into consideration the counter arguments. How, as I stated previously, it's not just academic stress that leads to these illnesses, it's familial, social, and economic stress. So taking in the big picture of what can really cause these illnesses in these students is the best way to go to have the most accurate results.